Have you ever stopped to think about what true freedom looks like as we blow past our 60s, 70s, and beyond? It isn't about fancy cars, luxury cruises, or exotic vacations. True, raw freedom is a simple, beautiful ability to stand up effortlessly from your favorite deep armchair without having to rock back and forth to gain momentum. It is a joy of walking down the local park to watch your grandchildren play, step firmly off a high curb, or simply stroll through the grocery store without needing to lean heavily on the handlebar of a shopping cart just to keep your balance. Our legs are the literal pillars of our independence. They hold up our entire world. Yet, so many of us notice a subtle, creeping shift as the years go by. Perhaps a flight of stairs leave your thighs aching a bit more than it used to. Maybe you feel a split second of unsteadiness when turning around too quickly to answer the doorbell, or your calves cramp up in the middle of the night with a blinding, knotting pain that steals your precious sleep. We often dismiss these moments as just getting older, an inevitable tax we pay to the clock. But what if it isn't just old age? What if your legs are simply starving for the fundamental biological building blocks they need to stay strong, resilient, and steady? Today, we are going to dive deep into 6 essential vitamins and nutrients that can revitalize your legs from the cellular level up, keeping them powerful and dependable even at 90. Let's begin by examining a nutrient that acts as the absolute anchor for your lower body strength: vitamin D3. Think of vitamin D3 not just as a vitamin, but as a master hormone that unlocks your body's ability to use calcium. Without it, no matter how many glasses of milk you drink or calcium pills you take, your digestive system simply cannot absorb it. This leaves your hips and femur bones structurally vulnerable, porous, and weak. But vitamin D3 does something else quite miraculous that many people don't realize. It speaks directly to your type 2 fast-twitch muscle fibers. These are the exact muscle fibers responsible for explosive strength, the ones that fire in a millisecond to help you catch your balance if you happen to slip on a slick patch of sidewalk. Take the detailed example of Arthur. Arthur is 74, living in a beautiful, breezy coastal town in England. A few years ago, Arthur noticed he was making excuses to turn down invitations to go on walks with his local birdwatching club. His thighs felt incredibly heavy, almost like blocks of wet cement, and he genuinely feared losing his footing on uneven dirt trails or wet grass. He felt like his legs just wouldn't respond fast enough when he stumbled. When Arthur finally saw his doctor, a comprehensive blood test revealed his vitamin D levels were down in the single digits, dangerously low. Because our skin loses its ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight as we age, Arthur's muscles were literally starving. After just 4 months of daily, targeted supplementation, combined with a bit more intentional morning sunshine, the heavy cement feeling in his legs completely vanished. Arthur didn't just rejoin his club. He actually led the challenging spring hike last year, stepping over rocks and tree roots with total confidence. He regained the structural foundation of his mobility. Of course, vitamin D3 does not work alone. It has a vital partner that rarely gets enough credit in mainstream health discussions, and that is vitamin K2. If vitamin D3 absorbs calcium into your bloodstream, vitamin K2 acts as the intelligent traffic cop. It activates specific proteins like osteocalcin, which direct that floating calcium precisely where it belongs, deep into your bones and teeth, to keep them dense and shatterproof. At the same time, K2 activates another protein that prevents calcium from depositing itself into your soft tissues, like your blood vessels and arteries. For your legs, this is a massive deal. When calcium buildup happens in the arteries of your lower body, it causes stiffness and poor circulation, a condition that leaves your legs feeling weak, cold, and exhausted after walking just a short distance. Consider Margaret, a vibrant 68-year-old grandmother from Ohio who loved gardening, but started suffering from intense, deep aches in her shins and ankles whenever she knelt down in the soil. She was taking plenty of calcium, but it wasn't doing the trick because it wasn't going to the right place. Her dietary specialist suggested adding vitamin K2, specifically the -7 Malawi-Quatch's form, which stays active in the body longer. This was paired with foods like natto, specific aged cheeses, and egg yolks. Within a couple of months, the deep, structural ache in her bones subsided. By ensuring the calcium actually reached her skeletal framework rather than hardening her blood vessels, Margaret protected her lower joints and improved the blood flow to her muscles. Today, she can spend hours tending to her roses, completely pain-free, crouching and standing with ease. Next, let's look at a nutrient that serves as a critical spark plug for your nerves and balance: vitamin B12. As we cross the threshold of 50 and 60, our stomachs naturally produce far less gastric acid and a crucial protein called intrinsic factor, both of which are required to extract B12 from the proteins we eat. A deficiency here doesn't just make you feel generally fatigued. It causes a slow, silent degradation of the myelin sheath, the protective coating around your nerves. When the nerves in your legs lose this coating, the electrical signals traveling from your brain to your feet get distorted or delayed. This can cause a strange, subtle numbness, a pins and needles sensation, or the terrifying feeling that you can't quite tell where your feet are in space. This is exactly what happened to James, a retired schoolteacher in Sydney. James started noticing that when he got up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, he felt incredibly unsteady, almost like he was trying to walk across an unpredictable mattress or floor made of pillows. He found himself running his hand firmly along the hallway wall just to stay upright, because his brain wasn't receiving clear feedback from the soles of his feet. His balance was slipping away, making him feel old and fragile. A routine neurological and blood checkup showed a severe B12 deficiency. Because his digestive tract struggled to absorb it through standard digestion, his doctor started him on high-quality sublingual B12 tablets that dissolve right under the tongue. Over time, as the nerve pathways repaired themselves, the fuzzy, disconnected sensation in his soles disappeared. James felt the solid, crisp texture of the hardwood earth beneath his feet again, proving that a sharp, well-insulated nerve connection is the true secret to perfect, youthful stability. Moving forward, we must address a vitamin that acts as the ultimate energy generator for your leg muscles: vitamin B6. This brilliant vitamin is heavily involved in over 100 enzymatic reactions in the body, but its primary job for our mobility is the creation of hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries fresh oxygen throughout your vascular system. Furthermore, B6 is a cornerstone of glycogen metabolism, meaning it helps convert the stored carbohydrates in your muscle tissue into pure, usable cellular energy. If your legs feel chronically exhausted, heavy after a few minutes of activity, or prone to sudden, painful cramps during movement, your muscles might be suffocating from a lack of oxygen and energy delivery due to low B6. Let's look at the story of Clara, who is 81 and lives in a quiet suburb in Scotland. Clara prided herself on walking down to the local bakery every single morning to buy fresh bread. But she hit a frustrating wall where her calves would cramp up so fiercely and tighten into agonizing knots halfway there that she would have to stop, lean against a lamppost, and eventually sit on a public bench, feeling deeply embarrassed and vulnerable. A clinical nutritionist looked at her diet and suggested she focus on foods rich in vitamin B6, such as bananas, poultry, wild salmon, and chickpeas, while adding a gentle, balanced B-complex. Clara adjusted her breakfast routine, and the change to her stamina was remarkable. The oxygen delivery system to her lower extremity stabilized. The sudden lactic acid buildup stopped. The cramps completely dissolved, and Clara reclaimed her daily independent morning walks without ever having to scout out a rescue bench along the way. Our fifth essential nutrient is actually a vital mineral that works hand in hand with all these vitamins to regulate your neuromuscular system: magnesium. If calcium is the element that tells your muscles to contract and tighten, magnesium is the great relaxer that tells them when to let go. Without enough magnesium in your system, the cells in your leg muscles become hyperexcitable. They pull in too much calcium, causing the muscle fibers to remain in a chronic state of semi-tension and microspasms. This manifests as constant daytime stiffness, an inability to stretch properly, and an agonizing condition known as restless leg syndrome, where your legs twitch, throb, and demand to be moved the moment you climb into bed. Think of Robert, a 71-year-old avid golfer from Arizona. Robert noticed that by the time he reached the 9th hole of his golf course, his legs were so incredibly stiff that his golf swing lost all its natural fluidity, and his knees felt completely locked up. Even worse, his legs would twitch and jump restlessly under the sheets every single night, leaving him completely exhausted and irritable the next day. He started incorporating a twofold approach: taking a warm evening bath with magnesium-rich Epsom salts to absorb a mineral directly through his skin, and increasing his dietary intake of pumpkin seeds, almonds, and dark leafy greens. The difference was night and day. His muscle tissue finally learned to relax and recover after exercise. His nighttime twitching stopped entirely. His sleep restored, and he recently completed a full, consecutive 18-hole game with the flexibility and enduring energy of a man 20 years his junior. Finally, we have vitamin C. We often associate vitamin C exclusively with immune health or fighting off a common winter cold, but it is actually the absolute primary driver of collagen synthesis in the human body. Collagen is a structural glue and scaffolding that hold your tendons, ligaments, and joint cartilage together. The massive joints in your lower body, your hips, your knees, and your ankles, rely entirely on a thick, healthy layer of collagen cartilage to stay properly cushioned, lubricated, and moving smoothly. As we age, our natural collagen production drops off a cliff. Without adequate vitamin C to stimulate new production, the everyday wear and tear of walking can turn into painful, debilitating, bone-on-bone friction. Let's think about Evelyn, a lovely 76-year-old woman from Toronto. Evelyn loved going down the stairs to her basement sewing room, where she created beautiful quilts for her family. However, her knees started making a loud, dry, clicking sound, accompanied by a sharp, biting pain every time she tried to step down. It got so bad that she started taking the stairs one painful step at a time, facing sideways. She began intentionally incorporating more stable, bioavailable vitamin C into her daily regimen, enjoying Viber bell peppers, strawberries, kiwi, and citrus fruits, giving her body the raw cellular materials needed to rebuild its natural joint cushioning. Over the months, the dry clicking completely stopped. The natural lubrication in her knee joints dramatically improved, and she was able to glide down her basement stairs smoothly and effortlessly, keeping her favorite creative hobby alive and well. Caring for our legs as we journey through our later chapters isn't about training to run marathons or lifting heavy weights at gym. It is about preserving the beautiful, simple, irreplaceable moments of daily life. It is about maintaining the strength to stand tall without help, the sharp nerve balance to walk over uneven ground with complete confidence, and the physical freedom to go wherever your heart desires without fear. Your mobility is your independence, and your independence is worth protecting with every single meal you eat. I'd love to hear from you now. Have you noticed any changes in your leg strength, stiffness, or balance recently? Have you ever experienced those frustrating nighttime cramps or unsteadiness? Which of these vitamins or stories resonated with your own life experiences the most? Please take a moment to leave a comment down below. Your story might be the exact inspiration someone else needs to read today to change their life. If you found this comprehensive guide deeply valuable, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell so you never miss a detailed guide to healthy, vibrant, and independent living. Share this video with your friends, your neighbors, and anyone you love who deserves to stay strong on their feet for a lifetime. Thank you so much for your time today. Take wonderful care of your health and keep moving forward with confidence.